Well, hey everybody, this is Chris DiFurio with Keys to the Shop. Welcome to another edition of Shift Break. Today's episode is brought to you by La Marzocco, who has been making espresso machines by hand in Florence since 1927. That's nearly 100 years of listening to their customers, innovating and creating the most reliable and beautiful espresso machines on the planet. And that's a reason why some of the best coffee bars in the world are using La Marzocco's as a cornerstone of their coffee shops. And, one of the great examples of this is the KB90 espresso machine. It has the straight-in locking portafilters for increased ergonomics. It has the scales built into the drip tray, which increases the accuracy of your extractions. It also has auto flush in the group heads that increases cleanliness and workflow. It's just a great machine, but it's one of many examples that La Marzocco has created over the years that will fit your situation perfectly. So I would encourage you to go over to lamarzocco.usa.com and check all of those pieces of equipment out. And to help you make the selection, just reach out to La Marzocco themselves. They're happy to help you make the right choice for your coffee bar. Just email them, info@lamarzocco.usa.com. Again, the website, lamarzocco.usa.com. Today's episode is also brought to you by Espressly, who is creating custom-branded mobile apps for your business, for your coffee shop, where, custom-branded means that your customers get the branded experience, the cultural experience of your coffee bar in the palm of their hand with a mobile ordering system. So it's not just a convenient option, it's your option. And so it increases loyalty and really connects them with your business while also giving them a convenient option for ordering. And it's a no-risk model with Espressly. You get a drive-through payment scanner, receipt and label printing capabilities. The data is stored in the app and it integrates with some of the world's best payment processing systems, including Square. So this is something that you should definitely check out if you have been thinking about getting into mobile ordering and apps at all. Go visit them over at espressly.co for more information and sign up today. Again, that's espressly.co. Okay, everybody. Well, today I wanted to talk to you about building a decision pipeline. And this is a topic that's come up many times, and it usually surrounds the systems talks that I give when we talk about developing systems and processes for the coffee bar. But this is really just about change management. When you're deciding that you want to implement a new strategy for marketing, if you're deciding to introduce a new roasted coffee to your shelf, any decision that you make that causes any kind of change requires that you have a particular pipeline built out. And the pipeline means that one decision to go ahead and pursue this change will then trigger a series of decisions. And that series of decisions or steps is going to be ordered by the number of different departments and people that need to be involved in the process. So baked into this idea is we want to make sure that everybody who is impacted and involved in this is equipped, informed, empowered to make this a success. So in the case of introducing a new coffee to your shelf, of course, you've got the roastery staff, you've got the baristas, you've got people that are going to have to communicate in your wholesale department to your wholesale clients what options you have available. And so that's already 3 different departments and multiple numbers of people in each department that need to have some kind of communication. And that is something that is kind of overwhelming, honestly. When you think about doing something like this, what you want to do is just make it happen. And then everybody should basically fall in line. And a lot of us operate that way. Real loose, shoot from the hip, very organic. We like that word organic because it sounds positive, just like organic food, and there's some valid, reasons to value that word, organic, to a point when it starts to become a word that covers up our lack of discipline in creating proper communication channels and systems, then organic starts to not sound so great. So what I would advocate here is that you start to create decision pipelines where if you find yourself having a certain number of changes happening on a regular basis, you want to have written out a step-by-step process, 1 through 50 or whatever, that decision to have a new coffee entered into your system will take, so that all of those different departments and the people in those departments are informed, equipped, empowered, and set up for success in those things, which sets you up for success, because now there's not a bunch of confusion around a new menu item where people don't feel like they can promote it, and it's not, in fact, properly promoted, which again, brings in another department, which is if you have a social media person who needs to have the information available to them to tell your customers about this. And it's not just a passive marketing thing where it just shows up on the shelf one day and we're all of a sudden surprised that it's not moving. There needs to be some planfulness behind this. And so if you have this happening on a regular basis where there's decisions that constantly get made, but there's always confusion around exactly how the decision is being carried out, you have an opportunity to create a step-by-step checklist kind of process and tweak it over time. Create conversations with people to say, okay, hey, if you're the head of this department or that department, what are the necessary pieces of information and how much time do you need with that information in order for you to feel comfortable and equipped to make this a win, right? So if it's the wholesale department, how long does it take to update the offerings? How long does it take to inform people or to create an email newsletter or to learn about the coffee yourself? What are those things, and have you listed them out? You might think that, well, we just all know them, but if you're going to grow your company, you need to get started early with systematizing this stuff. And so then when in the future, if you've gone through this process of investigating what each department needs and then ordering it in a process, you're going to end up with an SOP, a standard operating procedure for how this particular decision will be executed from step 1, which is idea phase, to the last step, which is launching it or having already launched it, but now assessing how that launch has gone. So every major decision that you make in your business needs to have something like this involved. Not, you don't need to have every single decision have a pipeline, but when it involves multiple groups of people that have specialized focus, I think it's very valuable to have. It brings clarity, and in the process of finding out the needs of your staff in the different departments, you're going to find that there's opportunities for improvement. Maybe there's tools that you didn't know you needed to bring more efficiency and consistency to the process. And so this can be a double win in that case. You increase clarity of process, but you also increase efficiency and consistency of the product itself, and everyone is happy in the end, ideally. So I hope that this was a helpful episode and that it inspired you to look at what kind of processes and pipelines for decisions and changes you can make in your business. Thank you so much for taking the time to join me today, and I will see you here next week on another edition of Shift Break, from keys to the shop.